Today, I am taking you through several different spaces in our home and sharing some of the simple and timeless touches that we've added for Christmas this year. A mix of old and new, pieces we've collected over time, and a few new things too. All the little details that help our home feel warm and meaningful this season. So grab something cozy to sip on and get settled as we go through these areas together. My hope is that this gives you a few ideas and decorating inspiration for your own home. Before we get started, this video is also part of a Christmas collab with my sweet friend Kailyn. She is sharing her Christmas home tour today as well, and her home is absolutely beautiful this season. I'll give you a few little glimpses here, but be sure to check out her full tour at the link in my video description. Okay friends, I hope that you enjoy. As we walk through our home today, I'll be popping in here and there just to share a few details with you. I really love our Christmas decorating to feel calm and collected, simple touches that bring warmth without overwhelming our space. So as we go room to room, I'll share a few of the things that we added this season that just feel special. Starting here in the entryway, I always love adding a seasonal wreath to the front door and some garland to our staircase. I tied a simple ribbon to both, and it's just such a sweet welcome into the house. This space is a little on the smaller side, but it is nice and open, and it's still functional for our family. We have the dog leashes and collars tucked away in a little basket by the front door, and the hooks are perfect for a little basket with our keys, a purse, or a jacket. And right here in the entryway, we have this little wooden dresser that I love. It adds such a warm touch by the front door, and I use it to store all sorts of things that we reach for often, but it's become the perfect little spot for me to decorate each season. Just a sweet little moment as you walk into our home. Just off our entryway is this little hallway that leads into the main living area of our home. We created this striped accent wall using painter's tape and painted it in our trim color, so it stays nice and soft and subtle, but it still adds a lot of interest and character. It's one of those projects that completely changed the feel of this hallway. It's simple, but it's still full of charm. We actually filmed the entire DIY, so if you're curious on how we did this, I will have that video linked. On this striped wall, I hung the artwork that my dear friends gave me for my birthday and added 2 small Christmas swags to bring a little bit of seasonal touch. And then on the opposite wall, I have some frames that we switch the artwork out throughout the year, and I put in some vintage sheet music and a sweet little nativity scene. It's such a small detail, but it does bring some warmth and meaning into this space. This front living room is one of the very first spaces you see when you walk into our home, and it's one of my favorite spaces to decorate seasonally. It used to be our dining room, but we quickly realized that we weren't using it that way, and it turned into a second seating area for us, and that has worked so well for our family. Our home reserve sectional has been such a good piece for our family. The covers are completely washable, everything is so durable, and each cushion has storage underneath, which is perfect for extra blankets, books, and games. It keeps things looking tidy, but also super functional. The swivel chairs from Cheetah Living add such a softness to this room, and I love that they balance out the shape of the sectional. The whole room has slowly come together over time, and it really just gives this space such a comfortable and timeless feel. Our King of Christmas tree in here is the star of the room. I decorated it mostly with antique ornaments that we found over the last few years and my pearl strands, which add a soft glow when the lights hit them. The branches on this style of tree already have that whimsical shape, so I didn't feel like it needed a whole lot. I love that it feels elegant but still playful. Over by the piano, I kept things really sweet and understated. The piano itself is painted in the color Olive by Sloan. It's the same color that's on the accent wall in our main living room that you'll see shortly. And I love how it ties the two rooms together without being too matchy. For Christmas, I made this simple little swag using 2 Real Touch picks from Walmart and tied a ribbon around the middle. It drapes over the piano so beautifully. And then I added this small cedar tree that I found at an antique store. It's also Real Touch, and I just popped it into a pot with a bow. Ribbons are woven all throughout the house this season, just small touches of them here and there. They add gentle elegance without feeling overdone. Now taking a quick look into our office, I have always loved these French doors. They add so much charm to the front of the house, and you can see right into this space when you walk in the home, which makes it feel really open and inviting. However, not too long ago, we added Roman shades from 2 pages to these doors, and they've been amazing. The room is right next to the front door, so anytime someone opens it, you can see what's going on. And because this room ends up being a bit of a catch-all space, from packages being dropped off or the kids' schoolwork spread about or my own work things, it's been so nice to have the option for privacy when we want it. For Christmas, I swapped out the prints in my frames for some really pretty seasonal artwork from Etsy, and I just kept the decor really simple. The wicker trunk holds our everyday shoes, which is super practical and keeps things tidy. It is a really sweet little office. Moving into the kitchen, this garland over the doorway is from Target a few years ago, and it's held up really beautifully. I just added this deep green velvet bow from Walmart this year, and I love how it kind of finishes off that look. In this space, I pulled in lots of warm woods, from cutting boards to risers, and then added in some antique crocks and rolling pins, along with some greenery and soft light from my lamps. I love keeping it simple in here without feeling too busy. I'll share our paint colors now, since they're one of my most frequently asked questions. Most of our walls are Snowbound by Sherwin, and then our trim, our doors, and our cabinetry are Heather by Dunn. And we use that color for a couple of the accent walls in our home as well. The green accent wall you'll see shortly in the living room and our piano are Olive by Sloan. If you're looking for links or sources, I share a lot of those in my decorating videos and in my decor haul videos, so make sure that you check those out. I will have my Christmas 2025 playlist linked down below so that you can reference any of those, but I will link my most frequently asked about items in this video here, and you're always welcome to ask questions in the comments as well. On the backs of the bar stools, I hung some small wreaths tied with ribbon. It's such an easy touch, but it does add so much charm. down the hallway here into our coffee bar. This area is narrow and a little dark, so it's tricky to film and a little grainy, but it's one of my favorite spaces in our home. This used to be a butler's pantry, and we transformed it into a full coffee station with open shelving and a brick accent wall. We're big coffee and tea people over here, so we are in this little space all the time. I put a few festive mugs on display and added a touch of greenery. A full garland didn't work quite how I wanted to in here with all of the breakables, but I'm still seeing the pops of green and texture that I wanted, and it does feel nice and Christmassy. Laundry room was a big project when we moved in, but it's become a super functional space. We have tons of cabinetry, lots of storage, and a sink that we use constantly. I kept Christmas really simple in here, just a cute little tree and a wicker basket in the windowsill and a little wreath on the wall. Now over to our kitchen table area, our little breakfast nook. This is such a cozy corner of our house, and I love keeping the decor in here really simple and approachable. Since we hosted for Thanksgiving, I wanted the centerpiece to stay pretty low profile and easy to move if we needed some extra space. So just a little bit of greenery, some cozy lit candles, and a soft understated runner that adds some texture without kind of taking over the table. This is one of those spots that gets used every single day for meals, homework, crafts, coffee. So I try to decorate in a way that still feels pretty but also very functional. I don't want anything too fragile or too tall that's going to get bumped over or needs to be moved constantly. I recently found these Spode coasters at my friend's antique booth, and I absolutely fell in love with them. They're so classic and charming, and I think this might be the start of a little Spode collection for me. They are such a subtle touch on the table, but they add that vintage character that I love. And then on the shelf above the table here, I added my favorite LED tree candles from Amazon. They flicker so beautifully at night and are on a timer. I just love them. And then on the wall, I swapped out the artwork for a seasonal print from Etsy. This beautiful sleigh illustration just feels really classic and timeless. Let's take a quick peek into the half bath. This is a small space and a little hard to film in here, but it is such a cozy room. The wallpaper is from Love vs. Design, and for Christmas I added a garland around the window, a wreath, and my little My Texas House twinkling tree that is so dreamy at nighttime, and then just a couple more LED candles. It is so cozy in this space in the evenings when the light is going down and you have the soft glow of the tree and the candles. And the last stop on our home tour today is the main living room. This space truly is the heart of our home at Christmas time. The tree in here is new to us this year. It's the 7.5-foot Grand Duchess Twinkling Balsam Fir from Home Depot. And it is definitely the fullest tree that we have ever owned. The branches are so lush and layered, but they still have that soft, natural drape that looks like a real balsam fir. And the twinkling lights are so beautiful. The whole room just feels warm and cozy the moment that you walk in. On this tree, I really leaned into a collected natural look. I used preserved orange slices this year. I actually hung them individually as ornaments on the tree, and then I got an orange preserved garland that I used for the mantle. These I purchased from Amazon. While I've made them in years past and they're very simple to make, it is a little bit time consuming, and time just wasn't on my side this season. I mixed these orange slices in with ornaments that we've collected over the years, some antique store finds, some sentimental pieces, and some touches new this year from Walmart, Magnolia, and Target. I love how the tree kind of feels like a blend of old and new. It's meaningful and timeless, but not too overdone. And because the tree is already so full and beautiful, I just didn't want to overwhelm it. That's why I kept the decor simple. I added some bows here and there just for a little extra interest, but I really let the shape and the twinkling lights do most of the talking. On our mantle, I used this big, lush, Real Touch 9-foot garland that drapes beautifully. And this is where I used the preserved dried orange garland. It comes as one strand, and I just wove it throughout the greenery. It's different from the orange slice ornaments on the tree, but together they create such a beautiful, cohesive look. The preserved garland adds this warm vintage charm that feels so classic for Christmas. And above the mantle, we have our frame TV with seasonal artwork, which always makes this whole space feel extra cozy. Our fireplace surround is something that we found at an antique store right after we moved into our home almost 5 years ago. It was pretty worn and definitely needed some love, but I knew immediately that it had some potential to be something special. So we brought it home, sanded it down, and finished it with an antique wax to bring out all of those little imperfections and wood details. It completely changed the feel of this room, and it's one of those projects where once it was in place, it just felt like it always belonged here. Over on the side of the room, we added this board and batten accent wall, and I love the structure that it brings. The vertical lines kind of draw your eye up and add some depth without overwhelming the space. And the peg hooks have been such a fun detail. I can swap out greenery, ribbons, seasonal touches whenever I want. For Christmas, I kept things really simple with just a few soft touches on this wall. I added a new piece of artwork from Target this year. It has that warm classic feel that ties in so beautifully with the rest of the room. And then I hung a pretty Christmas wreath and swag and my vintage ice skates and a little stocking with a tiny French horn tucked to the side. Just the small details that I love so much, but together they bring so much charm without overwhelming this wall. Our sofa is the Kenna from Cheetah Living, and it's held up so well with 3 kids and a dog. The cushions can go straight into the washing machine and everything comes out looking brand new. I layered in some soft cozy pillows and a throw blanket to make the space feel really inviting. And just like the rest of the house, the lighting in here is everything. The tree twinkling, the lamps, the little flickering LED candles that come on every evening, and the soft glow of the fireplace just make this space feel so peaceful at night. And that wraps up today's Christmas home tour. Before I go, I wanted to remind you to go over to my friend Kailyn Cash's channel and make sure you check out her home tour as well. We've been connected on YouTube since I started my channel back in 2020, and she has truly become such a dear friend. So she's sharing her Christmas home tour as well, and her home truly is absolutely stunning. So I'll have her video linked in the description if you want to watch hers next. And if you're coming over from Kailyn's channel, I am so grateful that you're here. Thank you for stopping by. I would love to have you join my YouTube family. I share weekly decorating videos, decor hauls, DIY projects, and we just have a fun list of home projects planned for the new year. So I hope that you'll stick around. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you all have the most beautiful holiday season, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, friends.